What's up, guys, and welcome to Casual Play Titanfall. The month is May. Had to think about that, which is not great. And there is excellent news. I am now done from university for at least a year, as long as exam results were alright, but I would say they all went pretty well. So I am now pretty free to do my thing and just basically look after the channel for the next coming year without too many sort of distractions, which should be nice. It will definitely make a good change. So coming up on this Casual Play, as always, we'll be talking just a little bit more about what's going on, a bit more in depth, but I've also got to talk about the press events that I went to last week. One was terrible. No, they weren't terrible. I'm sorry, that gameplay was terrible. One was a Intel press event, which was talking about the future showcase and everything that Intel have got coming up in the next few months and or years. I did a video on that. If you haven't seen that already, you can check that out. But I did have it was kind of like it turned into more of like an interview sort of thing in the end. But it was just really a conversation with one of the Intel technical marketing executive guys about the upcoming Intel processors for this year, and I'll give you the lowdown on what that was all about. Also went to LG press event, and they were talking about their new launch of their music flow system. So these are essentially multi-room speakers that can be used with Google Cast and essentially make it a lot easier to get high quality audio in and around the home. Also be mentioning The Witcher 3. That video, if it's not out by the time you're watching this, is coming out on Sunday. But it might already be out, so you can check that out then. Liking it so far, but like I say, I'll touch on a bit more on that in a moment, and then I will be talking about the products that will be coming up for review in the next few days and weeks. So I'll start by saying that, like I say, the exams all went well, and now that they're out the way, I've got more time. I'm going to take a few days off. I'm just going to preload videos essentially for a week. Hopefully, as far as you're concerned, you won't notice anything different at all, because they're not really going to be that time sensitive. Get on, get in. No, that was poor. I haven't played this for a while. I'm a little bit rusty. I apologise. But yeah, if I hadn't mentioned that, to be honest, you probably wouldn't have noticed, because I can just schedule all the videos to come out, and none of them are going to be all that time sensitive anyway. So hopefully it shouldn't make too much difference to you. But after that, it's going to be all hands on deck, if you like, for the channel. I will be working sort of full time in about 3 weeks, just under 3 weeks time. But the way that is going to work is that I will film 2 videos a week at the weekends, and then I will edit them in the evening. So schedule won't change, and the amount of time I spend with products and actually spending on the reviews themselves shouldn't change. So hopefully the channel is going to get a lot better. And I definitely won't let it get any worse. You guys have been great and getting more active and telling me the sort of things you like to see, and I've been taking notice of that as much as I can. A lot of you are now requesting certain products, and obviously I can't manage to get hold of all of them, but it's definitely going pretty well in that sense that a lot of companies and a lot of PR are kind of taking notice. And they know that you guys like watching the channel. Obviously, they care about 2 things, having a good quality video that shows their product in a good light, and in, more importantly, a fair way, but also obviously the number of viewers, so the number of actual eyeballs watching these videos. So if that's going to keep continuing and you guys don't go anywhere, things should only get better, and we should be able to get more and more products in for review. And like you saw, if you have seen the one that I did with the TP-Link power line, if I get a product in for a review or just a product in, you're always going to know essentially what's going on. I will never take money to, like showcase a product and give it a review on the channel, because obviously that would be biased, and I think that's pretty illegal actually as well, especially if I didn't let you know. So I won't do anything that you almost like wouldn't want me to do, but I am hoping to get more and more products in. At the moment it's very monitor centric, and there are more monitors coming up. There's the Philips 40-inch 4K one that uses a VA panel at a pretty reasonable price actually. It's that I'm quite looking forward to getting that in. I haven't got that in yet, but when that comes in, I can start to do a review on that. Because obviously a lot of the problems that I have with 4K, I'm using a 1080p one at the moment, but I'm also using a 4K AOC TN panel, which you should be able to see a review of that in about a week's time. There we go, thank you very much. And obviously the problems with a smaller screen, as I've said before, is just that the scaling means that you need to scale stuff up, and if you have two monitors side by side, one is 1080p, then the scaling just doesn't match between the two monitors, and you have one thing where stuff is a bit too small and the other one where stuff is way too big. So having a big 40-inch monitor should eliminate that, but it's still going to be a pretty big behemoth of a monitor on your desk. But I'll wait until I've actually got that in before I cast judgment on whether that is going to be a sensible purchase. So yeah, that's the sort of stuff that's coming up on the channel anyway. If you have any suggestions, then likewise just leave me a comment. And a lot of you are finally understanding that the best place is Twitter to contact me, because I can get back to you even quicker. I always read all the comments and try and respond to them, but it's not always easy to reply to comments, because it's not that I forget about them, but if I look at one when I'm only got a moment and then something happens and then I put my phone down, then it kind of becomes harder to keep track of all of them. Whereas if they're on Twitter, then it's kind of easier for me to keep track of, and there's certainly a lot less people that contact me on Twitter, so you're more likely to get a reply. But I always try my best, because obviously it's you guys that want the channel, you guys that mean that I am actually able to come pretty close to actually making a job and career out of this, so I have you guys to thank for that. But press events, as I was saying, I'm getting killed here. Press events, as I said, the last one was the LG one, but I'll start with the one the day before, which was the Intel Future Showcase. I said in the video how interested I was in this new wireless charging tech, the main thing there being that you can actually charge devices that require a lot more power, and they don't rely on 5 watts of power, which at the moment is the maximum you can get with the competition. But the Intel tech is using A4WP, which at the moment uses a maximum of 20 watts, which is 4 times greater than the 5 watt that is available at the moment from the competition. So it's not cross-compatible. If you have one thing in your device, you can't, well, you might be able to mix and match them, but if you have an A4WP charging capable device, you won't be able to charge it up with the other one and vice versa. But the main thing here is that if you want to charge up a laptop or something that's more high performance, then you're actually going to be able to do that. And this sort of tech, they are saying that they'd love to get in things like Starbucks and just coffee shops and places like that in general, where it just becomes the new Wi-Fi, where you can literally just put your notebook down and not even think about it, and then it gets some charge. The efficiency figures, I can't remember what the exact one was, but I know that actually it was pretty good. It's never going to be 100%, and I'm not going to make that, am I? No. Oh dear. I've lost my trail of thought. What was I talking about? You can't really tell me because it's a bit late by then. I was talking about charging. I was talking about A4WP. I was talking about I've no idea. You just have to finish my sentence for me. I'm really sorry. Other than that, though, I had a good chat with a guy from technical marketing. He was all out of business cards, and I feel really bad. I've forgotten his name, which is pretty awful, but I'm sure he's forgotten mine, so we're probably even. Yes, level 37 can finally get the thing that I wanted, which is Tier 2 kit, Dead Man's Trigger. Thank you very much. I will take that. Yeah, so the new processors that are coming are obviously going to use the new manufacturing process, so you're going to get a lot smaller. What is it? I can't remember. I think it's the 14 nanometer process. That number might not be correct. I believe it was. Apologise if it's not. I don't have the numbers to hand. But essentially, this means that you can fit more stuff in a chip, and in theory, get better performance for it. Now, the way I see it is, at the moment, we're all talking about DirectX 12. All talking about how DirectX 12 is going to be great because it means we're going to be able to get coding that's more down to the metal, and you're going to be able to get more performance out of your chip, because it's no secret that at the moment that Intel processors per core are way better than the AMD equivalents, and in some cases there just aren't equivalents. You know, AMD at the moment are quite often the sensible option for more of a budget-based rig, but any serious gaming rig will normally have a Intel processor in it. I don't know what I want. Whatever, I'll just have that. That'll do. So this is what I said to him. I said, at the moment, you know, Intel, you are the guys. Everyone that is using high-end graphics processors will probably be using an Intel processor, and that's just because yours at the moment perform a lot better per core. But this whole thing with DirectX 12 is it's really going to help out AMD users, and you're going to be able to get a lot more gaming performance out of these processors. So how do you guys feel about this? When essentially people were saying that you won't need to buy Intel anymore, and people might just not buy as many Intel processors as before. Literally as plain and simple as that. Less processors bought, less money in, less profit. And he came back, and quite rightly, he said, well, that's very true. AMD probably are going to be a lot better off because of this, and the performance is going to improve. But the thing you don't hear is that Intel performance is also going to improve. And he was very confident that the new processors are going to offer some great tech for gamers and are going to be even better with DirectX 12. And they're not really worried about it because, as far as they're concerned, the way he put it was basically, is if you want an AMD processor, you know, great. But if you want the best, then that is still going to be Intel. And we'll have to wait and see until we actually get some figures. But I think it's a very valid point. You don't really see many articles saying about how Intel performance is going to be massively improved by this technology, because obviously at the moment Intel processors tend to have a lower core count and a higher clock speed, and then DirectX 12 I should say, is going to benefit from that. But we might find that it's exactly the same story with Intel processors, and Intel processors are going to get even better. And then that would mean that you could still have a more budget chip, albeit an Intel budget chip rather than an AMD chip. So don't count Intel out here, is basically what he was saying. And I think that's a very valid point, and I think I agree with that. But it's definitely going to be great for everyone anyway, regardless of what processor you've got. There's all sorts of arguments going on between Team Red and Team Green when it comes to GPUs. You don't really tend to get that so much with CPUs, and that, you know, obviously that's good. I mean, there's friendly competition between the two, and they bring the price down. But you don't really get that sort of big competition with drivers and things like that, which is a good thing because it means that everyone is going to benefit. So if they're going to get even better, then I think that's a good thing. But we'll have to wait and see. I'm pretty excited for... No! Not for that. I'm pretty excited for DirectX 12 because it's just things like, for example, The Witcher 3. You've got the Hairworks technology, and I just don't want to turn that on just because it literally just turns the frame rate down when I'd rather have it higher. And this is running off a GTX 980 as well. It's not exactly a small card. So anything that is going to increase people's frame rate is going to be much well received. I think it's fair to say. The other event was the LG one, and this was more of an evening event. It was very nice, very good do. And they even had a Sigma, the drum and bass people. They would not want to be described like that. I'm sorry, but Sigma, they do Everything's Changing. Everything is changing. That one. Yeah, they were there, and they were actually playing. And this was all for the launch of their new Music Flow technology. So Music Flow is a easy way of getting multi-room audio into the home, and just getting wireless audio, like say streamed from your phone and things like that, into the home in a way that's a lot easier, and it's going to be a lot more mainstream. Now, these speakers actually were pretty good. I was expecting them to sound pretty good, but bearing in mind this was quite a big event with a lot of people, then big rooms, these things actually did fill the room quite nicely. Albeit there were a few times where they would cut out, but I'm pretty much just going to put that down to the fact that there was a lot of people there and all people trying to use the Wi-Fi. But I should be getting one in for review. There's a whole selection of them. There's anything from a portable speaker to quite a big high-end soundbar and a big high-end sort of just multi-room speaker. But they can all connect together, and they are the first to market so they say, that uses Google Cast. So that little button that you have on your Android, and well, I don't know if it's just Android. I can't remember. It might be iPhone as well. But the little button where you can click it, and then it will send your audio out to somewhere else. You've probably seen it before if you've got a Chromecast, and you can use it on YouTube and Netflix and things like that to stream directly to the television. Or whatever else. Well, it would be a television, but whatever you're viewing it on. So the same would apply to music. You could click the cast button and it would then cast it to one of these speakers. So they sounded pretty good. I mean, obviously, it's not really a fair testing environment, so I can't exactly say it's great, go and buy it, or it's not very good, don't buy it, without actually getting one, or more than one, because there's quite a few, in for a review. So I'll bring you guys more on that when I hear about it. But it seems pretty good that there's more competition out there for these sorts of things. Because at the moment, it's very Bose, very Sonos, and this could sell quite well with people. I guess they're trying to just get the sort of name LG out there as more of a more respected brand. I know they are already, but I definitely think there's a lot of brand loyalty to things like Bose speakers and B&W and Sonos and things like that. And it's all in the name really, so music flow, we'll see how that does. Like I say, the Witcher 3 review is coming on Sunday. I'm definitely liking it so far, and I think I can quite confidently say if you really can't wait, then feel free to go and get it now. It's pretty damn good, but I'll give you the full report of that on Sunday. And that actually is pretty much all I've got to say for today. I hope it's been beneficial. If there's anything you want to know, leave a comment, like I say, or hit me up on @PC Centric. And I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope you're not bored of Titanfall. It's just because I think it's quite a good game to kind of do. I can focus on two things at once. I can focus on what I'm trying to say and play the game. And I noticed that normally you guys tend to watch it compared to other stuff. So that's why Battlefield 4, Battlefield Hardline, and then Titanfall are all the go-to games, if you like, for this type of video. But if you like this video, don't forget to like it. If you didn't, obviously leave a dislike, and leave me a comment on anything you think's relevant, either on YouTube or @PC Centric on Twitter. So thank you so much for watching this video as always, and I will see you in the next one.